I suppose it all started when I was about 14 and I first heard, it would have been American sort of gangster rap, you'd call it back then, NWA and whatnot, and that was my first sort of introduction to DJs, sort of the scratching, I suppose. That was the first thing that got me about DJing, was scratching. I wanted to be able to scratch. It was at the time when music was just about to change. We'd had about 6 years now of hip hop, which was in the limelight, the late 80s, early 90s, and rave had just started coming in, and that was like big when it came out, and we all jumped on that sort of wagon. But rave DJs didn't really scratch. They mixed pretty badly back then as well. But still, it was enough to make me want to get some turntables and to buy records and to learn how to be a DJ. And then, I think it was by the age I was 15, that was when we started going out to raves, started raving, and we went to I went to my first rave with a friend of mine, and that was the first time I'd sort of seen a DJ live in action. And the power he had, I suppose. The way he could control the crowd, what tunes he dropped, made everyone react in a positive way. And that then definitely got me captured. That was what I wanted to do then. Not so much, I wanted to scratch as well, but I also wanted to be able to move the crowd like that DJ did. And then that was it. I persuaded my dad to buy me some 1210s, God bless him. Big expense at the time, especially when you're 15 and your mates are getting Mega Drives. And then I just spent every bit of money I had on records and every bit of time I had. I was at school at the time, so it would have been after school, standard 2 hours practice a day. And that went on for about 2-3 years. As I said earlier, my early influences, it's got to be NWA and EPMD, Ice-T, all the old school hip hop, Rob Bass, Young MC, a lot of that, all the old early hip hop, and the DJing that came with it. Just, I suppose it was all just, I don't know what it was. It must have just been, I never was one to go for house and the 4-beat and the doof, doof, doof. I found that really repetitive and boring. I always liked something with the break beat. I think the reason NWA's got to be the Amen, because a lot of people in my game or in this game will always say the Amen is probably the fattest beat ever produced. So then I got into the rave music, and then obviously because I was from the hip hop scene, I wanted to see that technical ability in a DJ, and it was all about the DJs. And it was back in the days of when Groove Rider ruled the show, and I think the first DJ that captured my attention was Master Safe. The way he sort of structured his mixes, it wasn't just thrown in there. He counted his beats, he listened to the tunes, and he made the tunes work together, be it chopping between or just having the right tunes in key, and making the mix last as well. It wouldn't just be 4 bars and a drop. It would change as the tracks changed, the mix would change with it. So yeah, Master Safe was a massive influence, and also he could scratch. Well, yeah, he could scratch and loop and do all the things that a proper DJ should be able to do. And I think the first time I ever experienced the full potential of what the track could do was got to be at a rave when I was about 15 years old. So this was before drugs, this was completely sober. And I think it was a track called Dubwater Dance Conspiracy, that was it. And it was the first time I'd heard it, but just by it, there was just a drop in, a break in it, where it drops down to a pure euphoric moment. And I just remember stood there on the dance floor, and it took you to somewhere better than any drug could, and it was just through music, and that is what captured me. It was that moment then. I think I bought 2 copies of the record straight away, and then played it daily for the next 4 years. My dad even knew the name of the track by the end of it. Obviously I was at school then, so it wasn't last week. The reason for me for DJing is, like I was saying earlier, is to see the reaction. You go to a club, there's always the anticipation before you go to a club, and you hope the club's full. And if the club is full, that is the best feeling that you can get. You're stepping up to the decks, it's a lively crowd as it is. Yeah, you've got to make sure you pick the right records to start with to make that reaction, but you pull it off right, the reaction you get from it is amazing. And I think that's the reason why I do it, is to see the crowd go mental, so to speak, go crazy. You can capture that, but you can't really recreate that feeling. I think it's just, without sounding cheesy, it's just a feeling of giving, of giving enjoyment to people, letting everyone vibe, letting everyone get off your vibe as well. And everyone is, and also there's the feeling of everyone's picking up what you're putting down, everyone gets what you're trying to put across, but just in a really energetic way. That's the reason. And obviously there is the reason that everyone's looking at you as well. You are centre stage.